Hello and welcome back to Turf Moorhouse TV. So this is completely different to what we usually do. As you can see, we're usually doing match previews, but this time I decided to branch out and get the squad together. It's always nice. It's like the A-team, except, we haven't got guns, but we have got a lot of manpower. And when I say manpower, Maisie, yes, you are the one with the most in this group.
That's why I'm in the middle. Because I'm the strongest.
Exactly.
Oh, fucking switch around then.
Wait, what? What did she just say?
I know, but do we have turn subtitles on now,
What
please.
did you just say? What did you just say?
I'm gonna ask Dan to mute you now, Reese.
Well, this is my response to that. Have you ever heard the classic saying, you can't silence a Scotsman unless you kill them?
I'm on my way.
Or you just turn on enough light. I mean, if you turn on enough lights, it'll kill Reese.
I got my bedroom light on, you cheeky fucking prick.
I only got a lamp on, and my room looks brighter than yours, and I've only got a lamp on.
I've got my blinds open.
My light is more bright than your future, but then again, that's another.
We all know that is.
It's as bright. It's as bright as her ability to speak clear sentences without subtitles.
Everybody.
I'm gonna ignore that because that's just casual comments there that just ain't acceptable coming from somebody who lives across the pond.
Honestly, while we're here, it is the 11th of the 11th, so I will just say, obviously, today was Remembrance Day, so, for our tomorrow, they gave their today, and obviously, we will remember them. Other than that, we are now branching into podcasts. This potentially may go up as a podcast, depends on the swear counter, sorry, Reese, and
come on.
We will just see how it goes. But no, we are on 3 major podcasts. We are on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify. And as usual, you can catch us on all our social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all under @Turf Moorhouse. But as I said, this is a brand new segment, and we are talking about managers. So first of all, Reese, I will come to you last. Hat, did you like that? Firstly, I'll come to you last. No, only because obviously I'll start off by Maisie. Thank you first and foremost for coming on. Let people know about your channel, what you're doing, and how you've been.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Dan. I really appreciate it, and it's good to have a debut on your show. I've got a channel myself. It's called Devils United. I do men and women's football for Manchester United, and there's also my Twitter account, which is @2_MUFC Maze.
Happy days. And obviously, Jack, we could find you everywhere. You're all over the place.
Yes, it's another site as well.
Hopefully not when you're driving. Mate. But let us know where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, cheers for having me on, mate. Echo what
Not a problem.
Daisy's just said there. But yeah, Jack McElliffey on everything, mate, and it just got me driving test, as we were saying just before off it. We come on there on this Thursday, so this coming Thursday, so. Fingers crossed.
I think I'm somebody that I can understand just as much as Maisie.
Cheers for having me on anyway.
Hey, not a problem. Connor, who's clearly ducking out of work, thank you for coming on and being here. Let everybody know what you're doing. Obviously, I know the channel's been a bit slow because obviously we're working and stuff. But let everybody know what you've been doing, what you're up to, and let everyone know your channel as well.
Yeah, I'm not ducking out. I have an open tab doing my coursework because the fun part about my job is I'm constantly doing university work for the job.
Oh, bullshit.
I can share my screen if you...
Probably got many
I'd rather not see your work, mate.
Yeah, got an open
but yeah, no, I've taken a bit of a break. It's been a lot. This job's kept me plenty busy, so it's, constantly on the go, and it unfortunately lines up that when I work, everybody's doing their streams, and then by the time I'm done with work, all you freaking Englishmen are asleep. And then Reese,
English.
And then there's I know you're kind of. I'm keeping you kind of separate from the pack.
I'm Scouse as well, so definitely not English.
Oh, so you're separate from the pack as well, Jack.
What about him?
I give Doug a credit. I like Doug. But no, yeah, I'm on. Hey, he's just as dark as he was before he turned his camera off.
I thought it looked a bit light, to be honest.
A little bit. No, but yeah, you can find me on Yank Talking Smack. I'm also part of the Blue Podcast, and we're also super busy, so that's why we haven't been able to put up a lot there. And then I do a couple things with the Man United agenda, and then of course I also make appearances on the place where I got my start, which is Rich Sports, which is a fabulous channel. That's usually where you can find me. And then of course my Twitter handle is my name, Yank Talking Smack. That I'm way more active on than my YouTube.
No worries. Thanks for coming along, Reese. Obviously, you and Doug have recently been chatting about this, so it'd be nice to sort of, dissect it again. Obviously, a bit temperamental for yourself, but where can people find you and what you've been up to?
You can find me anywhere where the sun's actually rising. You can find me on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk. That's where you can find me predominantly. That's the channel I actually represent and host on. And you can find me on Doug's channel on a Monday night, which is, to be fair, quality Doug Football Channel, World of Football Podcast, 7 o'clock on a Monday night. You can find me on Rich Sports Channel now and again. I am back on there after taking a brief break after Thursday night, which went to hell for me. You guys all aware, so I don't have to rehash for the live chat. And the live chat that knows me knows why I've not been on podcasts lately. So I've just been dealing with stuff. You can also find me on Blue Podcast as well. I am on there sometimes with Connor when Connor can get his finger out his arse. But other than that, you can find me anywhere. And also, now and again, I'm on Maze's channel as well. So I'm pretty much wherever you want to be. And you can find me on Twitch, Reese_Lightning 1997. I'm a shock to the system. I run the joint, and that's how it is. So thanks for having me. And you can find me on
if you were a shock to the system, it'd be lighter.
Not really. It's always top notch for me. And yeah, Devil's Rising on Twitter, which is also my YouTube channel as well, but it's not really active as much, but I'll see what I can do about that.
No worries. And Doug, obviously, thank you for coming along as well. Where can people find you and what you've been up to?
My pleasure, Dan. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I'm on the Dugout Football channel. I'm 9 subscribers away from 1.5k, so if we can get there very, very soon, that'll be absolutely amazing. You can find me on Twitter at Enrod_1992, Instagram at Douglas Stallhorn, and Facebook at Douglas James Horn. And it is actually nice to be actually doing a stream with Maisie. We've been meaning to do one for absolute ages, so it's an honour to do one with her, and it's an honour to be back on here, Dan. I'm usually on here for match preview, so it's actually nice to be on your channel for something other than a match preview as well. And it's a very good panel tonight, so thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all. Obviously, this is brand new content. I'm going to try and do this and get fans of clubs in and speak about their managers. But I thought, obviously, it'd be a good time to speak about Gerrard while it's out in the open with the recent move. Obviously, we'll take a couple of comments. The missus has said congrats on 200 subs. So thank you very much for that. Hopefully, it does carry on growing. Does mean a lot. And, you guys on here as well, you've supported me. So, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. Fox's Focus has come in. Hi, guys. Looking forward to the show. I think Gerrard is a good appointment. He got the best out of Morales, who's hot-headed to say the least. He'll get the best out of that squad, in my opinion. And again, congrats on 200. I'm liking this. All positivity. Rich says, hi all.
Your subs will go quicker than your beard, mate.
I've just shaved this. I've just had to trim it. Honestly, I look like, Rooney when he did that commercial where we were eating beans out of a caravan.
Yeah.
That's how bad the beard had got, so I had to shave it.
Shave the head as well.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yes.
Jesus
Christ.
I've been blinded.
Sean Dash. I look more like Greg Wallace.
A bad love child.
Mr. saying hi. Everybody's saying hi to people. Chris, no, I'm not late. We were just having so much of a good chat off camera about you, not to you. So don't worry about it.
I'm surprised he's still awake.
Yes. Whitbert, hi. How is everyone tonight? Thank you for tuning in. Really does mean a lot. Obviously, the missus is having a chinwag to Chris. Also, well done on 200 subs. Thank you very much. I've said it already this evening, and I wonder if Gerrard will get as much shit for walking out mid-season as Brendan did at Celtic.
Don't worry.
We'll see. We could potentially touch
Don't
on
worry,
that.
Reece will do enough of it for everybody else.
Also, 2 managers walk out on Scottish clubs and they think they are as big as English clubs. So Leicester are bigger than Celtic and Villa are bigger than Rangers. Enough said. We'll get into this.
Celtic and Rangers are bigger than what? Celtic and Rangers are bigger than 99% of the league in England,
including
the Big Four.
No, exactly. That's it. It's all a matter of opinions. Fox's Focus says, he's your son, Chris. Have a word. I apologise. I do apologise.
I'm sorry,
but,
Dad, I forgot the clock.
Niall Kane, evening, guys. Big up all of you. Thank you, Niall. Hope you are well. And obviously, with person, Reece, be sweet.
She's told me, babe. Oh, great. I'm fucked now. Like, oh, there's no spare word.
That's it. Happy place, Turf Moorhouse in the house. I'll take that. I love these little comments.
I found the comment by Kate's one of the best ones I've seen all night.
I did actually. That was a great video. You could really tell the difference in Eddie Howe, at least in that video alone. Just the difference that Eddie Howe brings to the table for Newcastle and actually having the youth. And it's one thing that I really hope we see more with Solskjaer in videos is they have the youth to be able to move around and actually physically show what they want.
That's all they know about youth.
No, apparently he's still living off the babyface assassin tag, really. So that's probably the only youth thing that he remembers. Niall also says, I can see Gerrard going for Connor Golston, Morales, Glenn Kamara, and Ryan Kent in January. Nah, not myself. Can't see it myself.
Kamara.
Yeah, I think it'll be Kamara.
Kate, did you do that yourself?
No, she didn't. Although she did come upstairs while I was doing it, and I said, "Have I missed out at the back?" And she's like, "No, it's fine." Rich says, "Dan, I think this is one of the best panels you've had." Usually, as I say, Rich, usually it's just me and somebody else. So it's nice to branch out to some different content. I was a bit worried prior to kicking off tonight, so don't know why. You just take it as it is, don't you? You enjoy this sort of shit. It's what you live for, mate. It's what you live for. And Talk says evening. So evening to Talk, evening to everybody. And thank you all for tuning in. So first of all, Reece, I will come to you. Obviously, Steven Gerrard has just left Rangers. You've been a Rangers fan. How do you feel about it all?
Well, I was going to be a proper dick and say refer to Doug's channel because I was on a video of him, but that's not the right approach. In all fairness, I think there's two sides to it. One is considering where Rangers were 3-4 years ago. He's came in, he's done a great job in terms of like changing the club's style about. He's made a more pressing team, more exciting team to watch, a more killer instinct as well, where opportunities come to Rangers players, they're going to take it, and it's more effective in that sense. And it's led to some success, some good performances overall. His record against Celtic the past couple of years as well is fantastic. His win percentage is 67%, like 67+% as well, which is one of the best Rangers managers you've had in terms of like a win ratio out of 193 games. It just comes down to where he goes from here. The other side of the coin is that it's one trophy in 9, but it's still the league title. But I think he's made the wrong decision leaving so early because he was in a League Cup semi-final. So there would have been another trophy that he could have potentially got his hands on if he'd actually stuck around. But then again, he is moving on. He's going to a club that I've got a bit of respect for. I do have a bit of respect for Villa.
Do you think he left them in a spot of success, though? Do you think he left them in a spot where they can then, even with him gone, go on and win that League Cup?
It all depends on who Rangers get in. And from what I can see, the manager they're going to bring in is a former player itself. One I actually love to death, and that's Van Bronckhorst. He's the favourite to get the job. I think that would be the perfect replacement, in my opinion. Because not only is he a manager, but he's a Rangers man. Yep, Gattuso as well. He's my second choice. I won't lie, he's my second choice. John Terry, I know he's one of the favourites, but no thank you. Although I wouldn't mind John Terry being a defensive coach at the club. I think that'd be great having him coach. That's the only thing. Yeah, keep the wives under wraps because John Terry will be shagging them all. But I do think if you really want to get somebody in, you need somebody who is not only a good manager, but you need somebody who has a familiarity with the club. Van Bronckhorst played for Rangers under Dick Advocaat in the late 90s. Before, obviously then he stint at Arsenal, then Barcelona. For me, that's the right choice. But in terms of where I was going back to Gerrard, in terms of two sides to the coin, yes, he's had some good success both in the league and in European football. The downside is he left a bit too prematurely, where he could have won a few more trophies to his belt, and then he could have had at least the full of next season and the summer to build. But the only thing though is he does go now. We can see what he can do without a transfer budget first, work his way to January, see where he gets them going. And then if he needs to spend just a little bit to improve a few positions, then by all means. But yeah, fair play him. He moves on, and we'll see where he goes from here now. I think that's probably the best way I can sum up as a Rangers fan.
No, fair play. Does he go also with like your best wishes? Obviously, you know, I know what he's done is sort of, in a way, if it was done in the Premier League, it's sort of like a Roy Hodgson move. He sort of steadied the ship, brought back the good times, you know. He's brought 55 titles to the club. Well, you know, the 55th title. Stopped Celtic getting that 10 in a row, which, to be honest, even when you say that, is just an achievement, obviously, in itself.
I still think he's I think Connor was, Chris was spot on with his comment about will he get the same sort of treatment for leaving. Rangers fans have called him a snake on social media. Like it's been in the reports all day, like tweets, call-ins on media channels. They have been calling him a snake all day, calling him, excuse the language, but like the exact word is they've called him a cunt. Like all of that, like they have called him all this and that for leaving. Me personally, I think it's stupid that he's left, and I'm not going to forget it. But I'm still going to give him the respect and the fact that he still took Rangers to that league title. And I think it's the same with Celtic fans. Yes, Celtic fans were still annoyed that Brendan Rodgers left midway through the season, but he still led them to that unprecedented success with the trebles and the back-to-back trebles. So I think there's a line like, yes, I'm still a bit pissed off, but then again, I'm not overly pissed off. I would probably just say a little bit disappointed he's left right now into the season when there's still a fair bit to play for. But yeah, I wish him well. I do wish him well.
Do you think it's a different story if he would have left without winning anything?
If he had left without winning anything, then yeah, I'd be all over him. I would be all over him, like ripping up my shreds. Not gonna lie, I would be giving him like every bit of insult I could think of. like there's no holding back. I would, but it just depends. But he's won something. Stopped history from happening, thank God, because I realised I would hate myself if I ever saw Celtic win 10 in a row. I think Doug would agree with me, it'd be the worst thing because Celtic fans really do get up their own arse sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them I do know do get up their own arse, and it really is annoying. But yeah, he's done this. He's won the league title. He's built a good team as well. Like, I know he had to spend money, but to be fair, he didn't just buy players for the sake of it. He bought players that built into his system. He was smart with his recruitment. He did really well with Ross Wilson as his director of football. Now he's going to a club where there's more money to spend, harder league, so he's got to test himself. But yeah, I think it just comes down to if he hadn't won anything, I do agree with him, I would have been more angry. But the fact he won a trophy, I can't really say much else except for cheers for that.
No, fair play. Obviously, going to you, Jack. You know, Gerrard has got his, he's Liverpool's golden boy. He's been there since the days of his youth. I mean, how do you feel about him coming to the Premier League? Did you think it was going to be sort of a swift move straight from Rangers to Liverpool when the days of Klopp were over, or do you think this is a good move for him as well?
I would have liked to have seen him stay at Rangers for a couple of years and really settled down his tactics and probably took Rangers a bit more further in Europe. Obviously, the first I was watching Doug and Reece talk about Scotland this year. I think if whoever finishes first in the Champions League,
automatic qualification, yeah,
straight into the Champions League. So that would have been massive for obviously Rangers if he could have done that. But yeah, I think he's only jumped at this opportunity now just because it's come up in front of him, really. I think it's an opportunity, especially if you look around the top teams in the Premier League. United very much will replace Ollie in a couple of years if he doesn't improve. Jurgen Klopp still got a couple of years. Chelsea, obviously, Tottenham have just got Conte. So there's not many big roles within the Premier League. But I tell you, that squad, if he can get his magic working, or obviously we haven't seen a lot of him in terms of his managerial ability, but I think Gary Mack will be a massive part in which obviously he was assistant, well, he was under the great Gerrard Houllier at Aston Villa all those years ago, and obviously Stevie, he was the first, Gary Mack was the first person he very much spoke to and wanted to be in his backroom staff at Rangers. So I think both of them they'll expect a lot from these Aston Villa players. I think Dean Smithy obviously got them through the Championship and obviously up the leagues, and I think some of the certain players probably a bit more relaxed than you would expect if you're an Aston Villa fan. But Gerrard, as everyone jokes about not winning the league, but he's an elite level player. Like Vieira has gone into Palace, he expects standards. Like Zidane, when he walked into Real Madrid, the expectations, whoever walks into a top level Premier League team that managers, there's got to be an order about that person, and there will be a lot of heads raised in that Aston Villa. He's probably better than half of the Aston Villa midfielders, even at like the age of 37. But it's a tremendous opportunity. I think he's very lucky to get such a big club, especially so early in his managerial career, which is crazy, but all for it.
It's crazy. In his career already, he's 41 years old and he's managed 2 big clubs already. It's crazy. But he's actually done relatively well. We'll see where he goes, but I won't deny he has got a bit of an interesting job in his hands, because we've all seen Scottish League managers go to Villa before. Only one of them's actually worked out, and that was Martin O'Neill. Like McLeish went there, but he didn't exactly work out. And obviously he had managed Birmingham as well, and we all remember how that turned out as well. That was toxic from that side, and obviously Lambert. But I generally think it's a decent appointment. My only thing is, and Niall's spot on. Gary McAllister and Michael Beale is the right shot there. My only concern is what he'll do. I think he will play the 4-3-2-1, 4-3-3. My only concern is I look at some of that talent there, and some of them are going to be running on eggshells, because I can tell you there's a fair few that won't be getting games, and I can already have a guess which one won't be playing games, and that'll be a certain centre back that doesn't defend.
They've got loads of money though, haven't they, everyone? I think that's probably one of the richest teams in the Premier League. And if Stevie wouldn't have come to Villa if he was not under the reassurance of potentially getting 100 million in the transfer window, we've seen Villa splurge loads of money on pointless talent, and a lot of teams in the Premier League over the last couple of years.
Yeah, you'll see a recruitment change. You'll see something. I think the recruitment will be smart, because that's one thing he did really well at Rangers, is he had to splash a bit of money, but it was on the right side, and it wasn't just spending money for the sake of it. Like,
he didn't blow it on people he didn't need.
Exactly. Like, for example, spending £2 million on Carlos Pena when he's the worst Mexican football player I've ever seen.
Obviously, we'll go to Doug next. Obviously, Klopp said to Stevie G at the start of this, don't go into this as Steven Gerrard. Strip your name off your back, take things back to the beginning, use different tactics, change formations, experiment, make mistakes, get it wrong now away from the cameras. And, when he was appointed as under-18s manager, obviously through that system, he's brought through the likes of, he's helped bleed through Curtis Jones, Reece Williams, Nico Williams. He had the chance to go to MK Dons after LA Galaxy turned that down because he didn't feel ready for management at that time. I mean, do you think he's gone the right way about it? And Klopp's advice is pretty good in a way, because we do see a lot of big name profile players sort of think they can just walk into that job and think that the name makes them superior. I mean, I won't say he's big time, but, Gary Neville at Valencia didn't work, did it? So...
Yeah, it's you're absolutely spot on. I think people are saying that this is a stepping stone for the Liverpool job. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's as easy as that. I think he has to do very well at Villa. In my opinion, I think you look at Liverpool at the moment, and I think Pep Lijnders is probably the one to take over from Klopp when he does go. But what I will say is he did a magnificent job in bringing through youth at Liverpool. I think he'll do that at Aston Villa. I think he's a good manager for doing that. And obviously he's brought through players at Rangers as well. Nathan Patterson being obviously one of them. Not bad for a guy who actually lost to Livingston in his first season in charge. I'll always remember that because obviously I was there. Had to put that in, Reece. Sorry, and obviously Connor, I think will like that anyway. But I think it's a great move for Gerrard, and I do kind of sympathise with Reece because obviously it's not nice for a manager to leave mid-season as well, but I do think he will do well with that Villa squad. And you look at their first couple of games, I think it's like the 5th of December. I think it intensifies the Old Firm rivalry because he plays Rodgers of Leicester at Villa Park. Obviously, the big one is the 11th of December, Klopp versus Gerrard. That's going to be incredible. Going to be so weird seeing Gerrard in the away dugout for sure. And then obviously the 14th of December, he's got potentially Frank Lampard as Norwich manager. Now, no disrespect to Frank, but I have absolutely no idea why he is taking that Norwich job. Why he wants to put a big R above his head and basically say confirmed? Relegation.
Has that been confirmed?
He's in talks with them. The only other manager in talks with
him. He's in talks, but it looks about a done deal. If he gets
that job, I'm going to be laughing my ass off all day, every day because.
And I'm completely giving up on Norwich staying up if he gets the job.
But I'm just thinking because obviously we've obviously got Frank Lampard, we've got Steven Gerrard, we've got Patrick Vieira in the Premier League managing. We just need Roy Keane to complete the set now, don't we?
Where does he go? Because there's no jobs available. Where does he go?
It's like getting the old guard back. But I think Gerrard will do a very good job at Aston Villa. And is it the right move for him? I think he could have stayed maybe one more season at Rangers and maybe then moved. But I don't think a job like Aston Villa comes up very, very often. And to be fair to Dean Smith, I don't think he was sacked because of the 5 games in a row. Villa had actually lost 18 games in 2021. That's more than Newcastle. That's more than Norwich. So you can understand that, but I think Gerrard will do well.
No, definitely. Maisie, I'll come to you. Him signing to Villa on a 3.5-year deal, a good lengthy contract, or do you think they've put too much faith into him?
For me, it's especially knowing that Steven Gerrard, he did have that couple of seasons to go and prove himself for Rangers. I think a 3-year contract is more than enough for me because you do need to prove yourself, especially when he's come from the Scottish League all the way to the Premier League. It's a big step. And he needs to bring his tactics to the Premier League. He needs to build that up with Aston Villa. He needs them couple of transfer windows because the team under Dean Smith, just before Dean Smith got sacked, is a completely different team compared to last season because they've gone a lot more defensive, a lot more like let's part of the bus kind of team. Like let's put eight players defensively and then let's put Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins up front. So he's going to put his different style of play. He's going to put a lot more pressing onto Aston Villa. And it's not an easy role to do, especially with Aston Villa. They do have them expectations, knowing the history they do have at the club, having the Champions Leagues in the past as well, knowing how big the club is. I think it is a good step for Steven Gerrard to take on, knowing he's come to one of the best teams in Scotland, to come into a Premier League team with such big history in their team. I think it's an absolutely amazing one for Steven Gerrard, and I think 3 years is just about enough for me. And I think this job for Steven Gerrard is a lot more about patience and letting him go into the role rather than just putting him in deep end and expecting that instant results from him.
Thanks, that sounds fair enough. That does sound fair enough. Connor, obviously, he's coming into a team who, is inheriting a side that sits 16th in the Premier League, 2 points above the drop. I know a lot of people will be expecting him to come in and get instant results. I don't think for Villa, especially in the hierarchy, they won't be expecting that. They'll be happy with consolidation and build. I'm guessing at this moment in time of the season. But for you, how do you feel? Gerrard being at Villa will Gerrard just be in there, spur them on, or will it be a case of full well that Gerrard will be a case of, listen, yes, I'm Steven Gerrard. I don't give a shit. That put that to the side. I'm here to do a job, and you're gonna do it like my way, or you're out the door. I mean, I talk of players like Douglas Luiz, who Dean Smith probably signed because he's played for Manchester City and thought, oh, this guy's going to be pretty good. I don't rate him, to be honest. But I mean, do you think Gerrard inheriting a side that sits 16th, he can actually get something better out of them? Because there is a lot of players there that are of better quality, to be sat in 16th position.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, I said this already on Twitter multiple times. I think out of the three teams who have signed a new manager in the recent week, Villa's done the best job. Villa's got the absolute best manager that they possibly, I think, could have gotten for who they are as a club. I don't think, they're of the level where we can expect them to get Zidane, or Ten, or whoever. But for where they're at, that's a really good signing to get Gerrard. Gerrard's a really good manager, and it absolutely shatters me inside to say that about an ex-Liverpool player and an ex-Rangers coach. But he's top. And it's a great signing, and I think he will go in there. And he's been given a 3-year key. He's been given the keys for 3 years, so he has all the authority to take no nonsense and go in and go. You either go my way, you start performing, or I'll have no problem chucking you in the bin in January.
Which you will do.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to you, Reece. Obviously, we'll take a look at what he had done with Rangers. 117 league games, 274 points, only 11 losses, as you say, in over, is it just over 3 years?
3 years in charge, yeah.
So, that looking at all them averages, it's pretty good going, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, oh, it's only the Scottish League and all this and all that. Well, I can just tell them to go and suck it. Because, frankly, I think if you have to put that in the context, it doesn't matter what league you're in. If you go to a top job in that league, you're there to actually win. You're there to actually showcase your ability as a manager. And he's went and done that. His actual record in 193 games is 123 wins as well. And it's 42 draws. 125 wins, 42 draws, and it's 23 defeats or something altogether. That for me says all. That's 193 games overall, but his league games, that amount, that right there, 84 wins at 117 games. I don't care if it's Scotland. If that had been any other league, you'd put respect on that.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It's not easy to go and win that amount of games and then just claim, oh, it's because it's a Scottish league, or if it was in La Liga and you're doing it in that way. It doesn't matter where you are. If you go to a club and you're going to go, we're going to win something, we're going to play the best football this club's ever seen, and to the degree what it is, then it should be respected upon the right way. So I look at his record and I go, it's it needs to put some respect on that, because that is seriously impressive. And the one that stands out the most is the unbeaten streak, because I watched every game and not a single game that I watched was a poor performance.
No, I mean, you've also got the season, when the last title win, obviously, you went the season unbeaten. Absolutely phenomenal achievement.
Only conceded 4 at home.
Yeah, that's another thing. And it surprises me as well, because obviously he took the job when Rangers were, they've had all the drama of, the new core being in and sort of dropping from the, coming back from what Celtic fans like to call the, death, Rangers death, basically. That this shouldn't be classed as your 55th title. It's pretty much, you're a new club, all that bullshit that they come out with.
It's same old shite, but it's UEFA that officially recognised as a 55th title, so I'm going by
Exactly, so screw him. As you can see on the camera, Connor has had to go. He has obviously got a lot of music to listen to. Jokes aside, he's obviously gone. He's gone for a meeting.
Exactly. It's quality. He's away. But yeah, I've got no real I look at that record and go if I was Brendan Rodgers' record, you would get oh, it's Brendan Rodgers' massive respect. If that was if Martin O'Neill was done that, it'd be Martin O'Neill's record, massive respect. But because it's Rangers, it means fuck all. And that's literally what people are doing about it, because it's Rangers, it literally means fuck all. Well, I'm like, well, I love that mentality, because it's like, well, if anyone but Rangers will, then it's everybody but you lot, so go F yourselves. Like, they're a big club for a reason. Like there's, like, in terms of overall success, like, how can you honestly lament that? I mean, and so, like, I'll take that, like, in the right way. And I love the fact people are bitching about it. I'm like, well, bitch all you want.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Statman Stubbs football channel, do go show him some support. He's branched out on his own now as well. Cracking channel. You can catch me and Jack there most Tuesdays, especially for the last 2 Tuesdays anyway, and it's been a laugh. So do head on over there as well. Yeah, I've had my teammate. I've had it tonight, so no pizza and garlic bread in front of me. I'm not having to constantly sort of hide my mouth off camera and start scoffing, which ain't too bad. And Rich says, 14 watching, hit the like. Please do. If you are new around here, do sub to the channel and sub to everybody else. Everybody else's Twitter handle and YouTube channels are in the description. So do check everybody out. Statman Stubbs is telling Rich to get on his quiz. Niall says he's subbed to Doug, Connor, Reese and Jack already and subbed to the other 3. So thank you, Niall. It means a lot.
Thank you, Niall.
And he says Connor has got the soaps to catch up on. Probably. He needs some soap anyway, smelly bastard. But
He's probably going to watch EastEnders.
I don't know what the American equivalent of EastEnders, Coronation Street, Hollyoaks, Emmerdale is in America.
It's just GTA.
GTA.
So obviously, Jack, we'll take a look at Villa recently. Looking at them, this season they've been pretty poor. Obviously, they're quite high on the rank of shots faced, but you'd expect that. As Reece said earlier, you've got Tyrone Mings who can't defend for shit.
Because he's Ming.
He's the worst defender I've ever seen. And I've seen Philip Sebo as a striker try to defend a cross.
It is bad. It is bad when you look at that at those. I mean,
yeah.
Can you actually see Villa getting out of this rut that they're in?
Yes and no. It's the Premier League's so difficult. I had Palace to go down this season in my Premier League predictor, only due to how poor Vieira was in Lyon. But he's blew everyone's predictions out of the water, I think. For me, yes, mainly due to the quality, as everyone already on the panels tonight shows. Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, they score goals. Buendia, such a very good creative player. Yes, McGinn, probably one of the... I look at that Villa side and I really do rate John McGinn, probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, most importantly.
Such a good player.
Yeah. But
Have you seen this comment? Taxi!
I swear you was praising him on your watch along, Dan, when you was watching.
I don't rate Tyrone Mings. Honestly, that's way. My grand's 65 years old.
Manchester United? She could do better. Has he always had something from Manchester United? Because I seem to remember, didn't he stand on Zlatan's head or something?
He stood on Zlatan's head, and Zlatan sort of provoked him.
Aye.
Although he's done it to so many people. He's not a footballer. He belongs in a cage. He should be doing UFC.
Yeah. But yeah, with Dan, yeah, I'd say yeah, mate. I could see them escaping, especially if they do, as we spoke about before, get a decent centre half in. That's someone that stays fit. Even one of your lads from Burnley, mate. I know you won't like it, but very solid. Obviously, Tarkowski or Ben Mee, someone of that standard to come in and just shore up the ship. Because, as he says, I don't even know how Mings gets selected for England when we started.
It'd be interesting to see what he does with Tuanzebe. I think if he can keep him fit as a pressing team, Tuanzebe is quick and he's good in the ball, and that's what Gerrard likes. He likes a defender that's quick and good in the ball. I think he would benefit if he can keep him fit. But then again, he does need to spend. But we'll see. That is very true.
Is Tuanzebe still on loan from Hughes, or?
He's still on loan. There,
Yeah. No, it's good playing him.
Niall's got a question for the Liverpool fans in here, and he says, "Is Sadio Mane the best player in the world?"
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. It's all right. He's injured already on international duty, which is great. Yeah, so I think Klopp would be ringing up a couple of international managers tonight.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. And there's the backup. Yeah, he has got injured today. Doug, do you think, obviously, Gerrard had to come to the Premier League at some point. It was going to happen. Do you think in the long run, if he does go on and have success in his 3.5 years at Villa, there is scope for Klopp's job at the end? Because Klopp's only got two. I think you said it, Jack, didn't you? He's only got 2.5 years left.
Yeah, around that time, mate. Yeah. Doug knows. Because if you don't know, I was looking at my cat, and it usually, in the cat background, you're wondering what that weird noise is. It's the cat, so it's not me making weird noises.
Yeah,
so,
Jack. Basically, Jack Mack has done a Jack Mack. He always seems to mute himself, and whenever he's speaking on the Friday LFC Focus, all you hear is basically his just.
So I usually talk a load of shit anyway, so it's probably better for that.
Oh God, I have to say that I think Gerrards. I think someone asked what the expectations are for Stevie this season. I would say top 10.
Yeah.
I think Villa are a top 10 side easily. Wasn't the best of seasons last season. We have to admit that, but I look at the Villa side and I think they're better than Norwich. They're better than most teams down there anyway. So I look at them down there at this moment in time, and I just think it is a bit of a blip that they're going through. I think Gerrard will be able to get the best out of this team. I would say get top 10 this season, and then maybe aim to get maybe Europe, maybe in obviously Conference League or Europa League or something like that. So I think they need to aim realistically with Gerrard. I think not all this. Oh, let's get top 4. Let's try and win the league. Let's try and get Champions League. Villa are not all about that. They're all about being a solid team in the Premier League and to stay up. So I think get 10th this season. 10th or above would be success for Aston Villa, I would say.
Oh, massively,
and then maybe build on next season and maybe try and get into that top 8, top 6.
No, I'd say that. I mean, Maisie, obviously, Gerrard's record for England spoke for itself. Apart from the obvious, always mythical question of can Lampard and Gerrard play together? I think that's one of those that will never be answered.
At least he can manage better.
Well, yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Scholes playing out wide as well. I was like, why Scholes in a 4-4-2 out wide? It was mad. A better manager would have got. Imagine, Beckham
a better manager would put Scholes beside Gerrard.
Yeah.
There's my thoughts on the whole debate. If in a midfield combo, Lampard doesn't make the cut.
No, I don't. I agree. Maisie, obviously, do you think that he has to go in and change this radically in terms of the team? Do you think he has to basically tell a few people, listen, you're not a Villa player, you won't fit into the system, you've got to go? I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got a bulk of talent at Aston Villa, but I do think there's at least two, 3, maybe 4 players at Villa that are there potentially stealing a wage, as Reece has already named one. But do you think we need that?
There is always going to be, every time a new manager comes in, there's always going to be managers who take a like and a dislike to some players, and there's players who could play off under one manager and then to a different manager's kind of style of play. It's just depending on the manager, the style of play, the formation. If you looked at for example, they done a Dean Smith style with 8 defenders on the pitch, for instance, I know we won't do that, but if he'd done that exact same way, there would be players there who you would take out. And for me, it just has to be changed completely because Aston Villa in that defensive kind of team, and that they can attack and they've got enough attacking players on there. And it's about, I'd say, probably a 4-3-3 will probably suit Aston Villa, especially with Steven Gerrard, like a pressing kind of manager as well. He's got enough talent to do that, and it's about getting the right defenders, getting the right midfielders, and getting the right strikers who are able to press, who are able to defend, who are able to score. Because if you look at that squad, there is talent there, but they're not worthy of Aston Villa. I don't even think the Premier League worthy a couple of them, if you want me to be fairly honest, and do need to move on because they're just wasting Aston Villa's budget.
What
Not
budget?
fair. Yeah. What budget? Obviously,
not that I care about their budget, but I'm just going to stick up for Aston Villa whilst
whilst they've got to Nzebe, and then as soon as he's gone, it's like fuck you, Villa.
Oh yeah. You look after Nzebe, and then you can bring him back all fresh, and then we can play him, and then fuck Aston Villa.
Yeah, we'll play him. We'll play him. We've got a manager that doesn't actually believe in youth.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Reece, I'll touch on the last point before we go around everyone. But obviously, where do you think this leaves Rangers now? Obviously, I know, on the lookout for a new manager to start with. But is it a case of starting again, or do you need to sort of just, you've put a pause on what was going. You need someone to just press start and carry on.
Bring in Van Bronckhorst, in my opinion. Doesn't have to change anything. Just get the players on his side. Do what Gerrard couldn't do, and let's win a domestic cup, and just keep things going nice and simple, and then make changes next summer when it matters most. So yeah, I still think Rangers will win the league though. I still think they'll win the league. I still think they're in the best position. Celtic aren't there yet, but they are going to at least keep Rangers going. But if they were to get if you get in Van Bronckhorst or Gattuso, Rangers win the league. Anybody else, I don't think so. I think you have to go for the two best options, and for me, that's Gattuso or Van Bronckhorst. But I think Van Bronckhorst is the one that you should get. I think that even though both players have history of playing at Rangers, I still think Van Bronckhorst is a better manager, and it makes more sense because he's also won a league title. Gattuso, no disrespect to him, he hasn't done it yet, but he has at least won a trophy at Napoli. He did win a trophy. It's just a different bracket of winning a cup compared to winning the league title. So I would edge it towards Van Bronckhorst there, but he does play better football. But necessarily, you don't have to change anything. Just keep it nice and simple. Just tell them, right, we're going to play as we were. Anything we need to change, we'll change. But at the moment, keep it as it is. And then in the summer, bang, tear shit up, sell the crap that don't belong there, and then go for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think if you want to do it right, you get Van Bronckhorst. Wouldn't mean Gattuso as a coach or a number two, though. Gattuso and Van Bronckhorst together. I don't care who you are. That would be the best ever.
That would be a formidable two. I mean,
straight up to Gattuso as well because he'd kill you.
Oh yeah, definitely. That man's got balls. He's like Joe Jordan on steroids. That man is like something else.
I love Gattuso. And funny thing as well, Gattuso's married to a Scottish woman as well. They met when he was at Rangers, and that was back in '97. So there you go. There's a fun fact if you didn't know that.
I didn't. Just as much as electricity hasn't reached Scotland yet, or your side of it anyway, Reece.
I could easily just sit on my sofa bed underneath the light and I'd look brighter. I like the look.
It's nice. It suits your dark exterior.
If you went near the light, we won't be able to recognise you. Like,
is that right?
On the screen?
Is that right?
Yeah, but that's twilight. Like you're going light and you just start glistening.
No. You haven't seen Josh. He just does podcasts in the dark constantly.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you don't know whether he's asleep or awake.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't come at me for sitting in the dark.
No, honestly, thank you all for tuning in. Everyone in the comments, thank you for coming along. Everyone on the panel, it really does mean a lot that you're here. And yeah, this is something new. Hopefully it'll be an ever-present. We'll go around, get fans of other clubs, speak about their manager, what he's done, what things they think can be achieved in the future. But start again with you, Maisie. Obviously, thank you for coming on and tell people where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, just want to say a big thank you to you, Dan, for bringing me on tonight. I absolutely love your channel. It's an absolute pleasure to be on, make my debut here tonight. You do absolute
thank you.
quality streams, and everyone who is watching, go and hit the like and subscribe button to Dan. He does deserve so many subscribers, so make sure you get these subscribers to 300 now. It would be absolutely amazing if you can do that for Dan. But in terms of finding me, you can find me in Devils United. I do men and women content for Manchester United, and you can find me on Twitter, which is at 2_MUFC Maze.
Smashed it. So you,
that comment is relevant. That comment is relevant. I do have a podcast. I do have a podcast coming on Tuesday in the Weekly Armchair, and Vicky is actually joining us on the podcast. So that comment that comment is actually extremely relevant. So I actually love that one.
Happy days. Obviously, thanks a lot, Maisie. Again, your stuff is in the description, as is everyone's. But Jack, thank you as well for coming along. It's always nice to have you. Tell us where we can find your stuff.
Yeah, cheers, miss. It was lovely to meet Maisie, and obviously Reece and Doug again, and you and everyone in chat as well. Have a good weekend. Try and enjoy it. I know international footy's on, but just Jack Mac LFC on all socials. But cheers again, Dan. Really appreciate it. And everyone, have a good weekend. And just pray for our clubs don't get any injuries. So.
And good luck as well to you, Jack, for Thursday.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll smash it, mate. You'll smash it. Good luck with the driving.
I'll live stream from my car next week if I pass.
2 hands on the wheel. I'm like, no, I run a successful YouTube channel. You can wait. I'm videoing this.
Not getting 9 points over that. Come on.
Hey, Burnley would love 9 points, so don't worry about it, mate. Reece, where can we find your stuff? Thanks again for coming on as well.
Thanks very much for having me. You can find me on Devils Rising on Twitter, which is also my YouTube channel. You can find me on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk. Now and again on Maisie's channel when I can be bothered. I'm just kidding. I do like appearing on Maisie's channel, even if she puts me through hell. Rich Sports channel now and again. Obviously, Monday nights, Dugout Football channel, Weekly Armchair. Weekly Armchair I already mentioned, but we do have a Twitch channel that I also run. We're going to get starting on the Twitch channel very shortly. But yeah, my mainstay is Weekly Armchair and Doug's channel on a Monday night. That's pretty much where you can find me the most. And Rich Sports channel when he has me on, like due to personal reasons. But yeah, I'm back in black.
Happy days. And Doug, thank you also for coming on. It's something different than a match preview. So yeah, I am glad to get you in, obviously. Thanks for coming on. And where can everyone find your stuff? I know you've got a lot.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure, Dan. Thank you very much for having me, and great to do a stream with Maisie. Great to do with Jack and Reece as always as well. You can find me on the Dugout Football channel. Obviously, I've gained another subscriber, so thank you very much, Niall, for that. You can find me on Instagram at Douglas.Horn. Twitter is nrod_1992, and Facebook is Douglas James Horn. And hopefully Scotland can do it tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
When a Scotsman has hope, that's when we're worried. We only need one win. Hopefully Scotland don't do it. Man United didn't need a win, but fuck up in the last 2 games. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, you've got previous. To
be fair, I think we'll win tomorrow. I think. I'll go one further. I'll go one further. I think we beat Denmark in the last game.
It's kind of what you call a banana skin of a game, but I just look at the way we're playing at the moment, and I just think we should go there and win. Hopefully, Moldova
should win. Andy Robbo, he'll score. So.
Then Denmark next week.
Yeah,
not bad. Obviously, England facing Albania. Not that you two will be bothered, but. There may potentially be a video live from Wembley. I am not sure yet. I am not entirely sure whether I'm deciding to do it yet, but we will see.
Albania, Jesus Christ! My cat, my dogs, my gran. Like anybody could play against Albania and San Marino, and they'd probably still score.
Put it this way: you could put 11 coffins on the pitch, and you would beat Albania. And that's no disrespect to the dead.
All right, it's only the dead that watch this channel, mate. So you're fine. You're fine.
That's true. We're all zombies, mate. We're not the walking dead. We're the talking dead.
The missus says, great panel, guys, and she is right. The panel has been absolutely fantastic, as have you guys in the comments, so thank you very much. Do remember to sub to, I'm not going to call myself a lovely man because I'm not, but please do try and get us to 300 subs. It would really mean a lot. Do a lot of work behind the scenes, which means I don't spend much time with the kids, and basically I try and jack out of work. So I do try to do some stuff, but clearly I've just got to do what a man's got to do. As I say, if you are new around here, please do smash that like button. We are on all social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, obviously, because we're live on there. We're also on podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and we are on Spotify. And I think Reese has been well behaved. We will put this on Spotify. But no, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Last couple of comments. It says there, correct, spot on. So no, thank you again to everybody in the chat. Thank you again to the panel. Absolutely fantastic. Steven Gerrard to Aston Villa. Who'd have thought it? It's happened. So let's see how he gets on there. I'm no doubt sure he'll probably be at Liverpool at some point.
Just one last point. Steven Gerrard scored more goals against Aston Villa than any other side for Liverpool, and now he's become manager. Who would have called it?
Wow.
Who would have? That is mad.
And that is a day in a Scouser's life. I should just rename my Twitter to Mr. Catchphrase.
You could be Mr. Catchphrase and Connor could be Mr. Chips.
No, because I would need somebody who's actually good at the role, not somebody who's a big man for the role. You have to be able to see Mr. Chips. No, he's not just him.
And on that bombshell,
yeah,
time to end.
We will see you next time. So thank you guys for watching, and see you soon.
Cheers,
All
mate.
the best.
bye.
Au revoir.